Welcome to Fact Lab. On this site you can search through factual data, or variables, from a variety of different sources gathered from many countries around the world and presented here in a simple and logical manner. We can choose to search for statistics relating to a specific country, for example Sweden or Romania, or to search for facts about every country in the world. As an example, let's see how the world's population will increase between now and 2050. We begin by clicking on Global. In the search field, we can carry out a quick search. If we write population, then without having to do anything else, FactLab will show us the variables that relate just to population. This list is a bit long, but we can choose to find the information another way. We close the pull-down menu by clicking on X, and instead click on Choose Theme and choose People. The green arrow to the left reminds us to choose Subject. We click on Population. Notice these grey fields that show how many countries supply statistics on the subject you've chosen, and also the choices you've made. Now click on Choose Kind and select All and the measurement Persons. Under Choose Year, you can select data from 1960 until the latest available compilation, which dates from 2009. If you want to change your mind, you can click Clear and make a new choice. Let's see what we've chosen. Here is People, Population, All, Persons, and 2009, which is the latest compilation. We also see that we have data from 213 different countries. If we also want to know where these facts come from, we can click on the link Source and Related Links, where we can discover that these facts were compiled by the World Bank. The green arrow reminds us to choose Next, so we'll do that. Now we come to a new window. By default, this shows our data as a bar chart, and we find this at the top of these 6 different ways to view statistics. If we choose instead Top Entries, we get a list of the major countries. We can see down here that the world's population is just over 6.7 billion people. We can export this list to Excel or print it out. But let's go back to the bar chart. We can make a selection by clicking and dragging with the crosshairs to mark a box. We can repeat to select the 3 largest countries, China, India, and the USA. If we're not happy with our choice, we can just click on Clear this step. It's no coincidence that these bars are blue. We've made a selection of facts in the blue Fact 1 field. Now we're going to find out how big the population is estimated to be in these countries by 2050. And to do that, we choose Fact 2, the yellow field. The bars relating to this fact will be yellow. We can click on Choose Fact 2 and scroll down. We choose People, but this time we choose not population, but estimates and projections population, because we cannot know exactly how many people there will be in 2050. We continue by choosing Total, Persons, and 2050. Now, prompted by the green arrow, we choose to hide facts. When we compare China, India, and the USA, we can see that India is expected to be the world's most populous country in 2050. China's population will increase only marginally from 1.3 billion today to nearly 1.4 billion. The USA will increase from just above 300 million to nearly 400 million, but India will grow most rapidly by as many as 400 million people. If we want to see the world's entire projected increase in population, we choose to clear this step and click on the summary. In the year 2009, we know from Fact 1 there were just over 6.7 billion people on Earth. As Fact 2 shows, we estimate there will be about 9 billion of us by 2050. This is an increase of 2.3 billion in less than 40 years. But the population of India, which is expected to be the largest country, will rise by just 400 million. We know now that China and the USA will not increase by much, so where on earth will the largest increase of people be by 2050? In order to investigate this, we go to Show Selection. We can now choose to explore different regions, different countries, and even organizations. We choose to click on an organization, the EU, and check Yes in the pop-up window to show all the countries that are members of the EU. Now we can close the pop-up window. At the top of the screen, we see that the EU is made up of 27 countries. In 2009, the population of the EU was almost 500 million. But look, by 2050, it is estimated that the EU's population will have declined by 30 million to 470 million. The EU countries are not contributing to world population growth, on the contrary. But where then is the big increase? If we deselect the EU and instead look at Asia, we can see that Asia, which consists of 25 countries, is expected to increase from 3.6 billion people to just over 4.3 billion. That is to say, an increase of around 700 million people. But even this does not give us the whole answer. If we deselect Asia and instead select Africa, a region of the world with facts from 53 of 206 countries, we see a very noticeable increase, from today's population of just over 1 billion people to an estimated population of nearly 2 billion in less than 40 years. The population of Africa alone is estimated to increase by 1 billion people. But what is the reason for this huge increase? That is not an easy question to answer. Let's look at a single country in Africa. Let's choose Botswana. Here we have a lot of information about the country, but we can see that the population is actually projected to decline by nearly 300,000 people by 2050. If we deselect Botswana and instead scroll down to Uganda, we can see that the population of this country is expected to increase from about 32 million to almost 127 million, poles apart. You should always remember that FactLab does not present theories or conclusions, just facts from reliable sources. It is you who must interpret these facts and try to answer the question, why?